It's time for the One Bar and Lupaga Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am One Bar, joined by Mr. Lupagus, and in today's episode, we're going to take a way too damn early look at the projecting the 53-man roster for the Vikings, and we're going to focus solely on offense this episode, and next episode we're going to hit up defense.
Is it safe to say we're going to have some premature projection going on?
Very premature, very premature, but damn it, the draft is over. Free agency is pretty much over. It's time to take a look at who we might see on the 53-man roster.
What else are we going to do? Before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and then you'll get more of these sweet Viking nuggets that we'll be producing every single day.
Every day we are in your face.
Hell yeah. Well,
all right, before we get started,
little
trivia question. Stick around at the end to see if you win, or just hit us up in the comments with your answer. Last year on the Vikings 53-man roster, they kept 2 undrafted free agents on their roster. Who were they? Stick around, and we're going to tell you.
I'm going to tell you right now. Just kidding.
No. What a teaser. What a teaser. All right, let's get into this. And you know what? Something tells me Lupagus and I will not agree on all these, and we will let that be known, but we're going to hop right into it. So the quarterback position, which was a little bit rattled with Nate Stanley coming into the team in round 6, but we're going to start off with quarterback. Lupagus, who do you got at quarterback?
I think it's going to look a lot like it did last year. I think they're only going to keep 2, and it's going to be Kirk Cousins and Sean Mannion, one of the best backups in the NFL today.
One of the best backups ever to play the game, Sean Mannion. Was he 3rd or 4th round?
I think he was a 3rd-round pick quite a few years ago. But I think the question is, are they going to keep 3? I really don't think so, unless Nate Stanley, is a complete shock, or Jake Browning surprisingly took a huge jump in year 2. I think this is going to be a 2-quarterback depth chart once again in 2020.
Yeah, I think the big question will be is who they keep on the practice squad. We'll be on pins and needles to see that, whether it's Stanley or Browning. But you're right. I think when it comes to the Vikings, if Kirk Cousins goes down, they just realize it doesn't matter who comes in. They're pretty much going to be done since there's such a large drop-off. So, yes, I agree. 2 quarterbacks, and Kirk and Sean will be our boys.
Absolutely. All right. Why don't you move on with running backs?
Running back. This one's a little bit tougher. Last year we kept 5, right? Counting Ham?
Well, yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to lump Ham into this, and this year I'm going to go obviously Cook, Madison, Boontang, and CJ Ham is the 4th. The only difference from last year is I actually have them cutting the cord on Amir Abdullah, which is painful. I mean, he was a special teams demon last year, and we definitely need that. But we got some other positions to address, and I think Amir Abdullah gets the axe here.
And I think the reason he gets the axe is we got so many special teamers in the draft this year. You look at the late safeties we got; both those guys can be demons on special teams. Harrison Hannon can probably be a special teamer. So, and maybe one of those receivers, too, that we got, whether they're undrafted or late. So, I think you got yourself a handful of new special team standouts this year, which makes Amir Abdullah expendable.
Yeah, and you're giving spoiler alerts on who's going to make this team.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, wide receiver. Last year we kept 4. What do you got?
Oh, I'm surprised we kept 4 with how gross those options were.
They're very gross.
Just kept 2. All right, well, 3. All right, wide receiver this year, I think it's going to be Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, B.C. Johnson, KJ Osborne, Tajay Sharp, and I also think the undrafted rookie Courtney Davis is going to make the squad. I don't think you agree with me on this one, but I just think he's much more polished than Osborne, and as a true receiver, I think he could have a role on this team.
Yeah, I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp of saying Davis will make the team. It's going to be tough. I mean, we'll see what Osborne brings to the table. I mean, he was a 5th rounder. By no means is he a shoo-in to make the team. I know he adds value at the return game, but one guy I think that that nobody's really talking about that could get the axe is Tajay Sharp, actually. I mean, he only signed a 1-year, $1 million. And we've seen it in the past. We saw what they did with Kendall Wright when they brought him in. We all had high hopes, and he got cut. So Tajay Sharp is one to keep an eye on. But yeah, the end of the wide receiver receiver depth chart's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, the only thing, if you cut Sharp, I mean, you're losing pretty much, besides stealing all your veteran leadership, so you're going to roll with a very, very young receiving core. Yeah, I'd be shocked if Tajay Sharp doesn't make the team, but like you said, though, it's definitely a possibility. Let's move on to tight end. I think we both agree on this one. I'm going to probably keep 3: Kyle Rudolph, Irv Smith Jr., and the Conkadonk.
Conkadonk. And, you know, Brandon Dillon, I think, is going to push the Conkadonk. He was pretty close last year, and he made the final roster. But Conkadonk should be a little scared. But Big Irv and Rudy, they're in. I think they keep 3.
Well, and you think, potentially they could trade a Conklin or Dillon to another team looking for a tight end. And look at some of these guys that were drafted this year. I don't know. It was kind of, I think there's a lot of stretches there. And I think Conklin or Dillon would be upgrades over what people were taking in the draft this year.
I will always have a special place in my heart for Tyler Conklin. Central Michigan.
Love him. He was one of your rare draft crushes that we actually drafted.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, the other was Rufus Alexander.
Yeah. All right, so we're keeping 3 tight ends. Now let's go to the dicey offensive line. Here's going to be some very tough decisions. We're going offensive tackle. I think we're going to be keeping Riley Reif, O'Neal, Rashad Hill, Ezra Cleveland, and Udo.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It sounds like they're moving Brandel to guard, so he shouldn't be classified in the tackle group. Who knows? Riley Reif might end up being a guard this year if Ezra Cleveland's ready to go, which would be sweet. Udo can give you depth at both positions. Sounds like they might try him at guard too. So I think these guys who can offer that position flexibility are going to be much more valued and have a way better shot at making the team. But I think the tackle one is much easier to figure out than what the guard's going to be, where the Vikings have already said guard is going to be a wide open competition.
Yeah, it's going to all come down to what they have up their sleeve as far as who's moving inside. If anybody's moving inside, Riley Reif, even Ezra Cleveland, that will be a big decision on this. But I think the Viking staff absolutely love Udo. Even when he got in late last season, I mean, he might actually be a decent player.
Yeah, he played well against the Bears. He was aggressive. I think he got a couple penalties because he was just jumping on guys after the play. I like the aggression he showed. And yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about Udo's future. Could be a sneaky breakout player.
Hell yeah.
All right, so guard. This is where I think it's a little more tricky, but because it's just really not a lot of great options here. But Pat Elflein, Drew Samia are probably your top of your depth chart right now, and behind them, Dakota Dozier. I think those are the 3 that they keep. I think they keep 3 guards, and then you have the rest of these players who could do both. So that's what I'm saying here. And obviously this could change, but that's where I'm at right now in my mind.
Yeah, and it appears they drafted Kyle Hinton not only to move in 1 spot to guard, but 2 spots as center. So they got Kyle Hinton locked in as battling for that center spot with Brett Bush-Jones. So it's going to come down to Blake Brandel, who they're moving inside, and Avante Collins. So guard is up in the air. I mean, I think they're definitely going to keep 4. So it comes down to Avante Collins and Blake Brandel for me.
So you think they'll keep Hinton as a center?
Yeah, they're going to move Hinton to a center.
Yeah, I don't know. I think both Brandel and Hinton are just practice squad fodder. I think that's where they're going. I think they both need, year to season. If either one of these guys get on the field in year 1, I think there's going to be trouble. Not that doesn't mean I don't like their potential. I think they're at least a year away.
Yeah, if they see the field, that's trouble. I think they'd be all right for backups. But yeah, practice squad will be very well for them.
All right, well then we got center. You kind of already mentioned
Garrett Bradbury, obviously, and yes, Brett Bush-Jones, the guy that we will never ever release, the guy we will continue to sign 1-year deals until he dies.
Yeah, they don't play him, but they like to keep him. Bush-Jones hangs around like a dingleberry. You just can't wipe away.
Oh man, I think Bradbury could go down, and they would just put even somebody else in there at center. Like Bush-Jones is just the guy. He must just be a hell of a teammate.
No, I think he's got some dirt on Spielman or Zimmer. It's the only reason he's hanging around. He knows something.
Yeah.
That's all it can be. I don't know.
So that is our 53-man, half of it, I should say, for offense. No real big shockers. I think some of the shockers will mostly come on defense in our next episode. Be sure to check that out. But the answer To our trivia question, Lupagus, what is the answer? Who do you got? There was 2 of them.
There was 2. We already mentioned one of them. It was Brandon Dillon, the tight end from I don't remember where. And then
Nobody remembers.
And the cornerback we traded for right as the season started from the Kansas City Chiefs, Mark Fields.
Mark Fields. So we kept 2 undrafted free agents, and something tells me we may have 2 or more on this list. So be sure to check out the defensive one. And like Lupagus said, subscribe and like the video.
All right, got a little fact for you guys before we head out. Turns out, and this has actually been scientifically proven. I don't know why they're running these tests, but it has been scientifically proven that a dog's favorite music is reggae.